Hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe, and today I'm going to be bringing you another way too early NFL mock draft for our beloved, bless you boys, in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to be presenting two drafts tonight. First, I'm going to do a full 7-round mock, picking as the Saints, and we're going to stay right at the draft positions we're at, and we're going to see how the board falls. And then my second mock draft will involve trades. And that's where the fun really starts. So if you guys go on the mock draft simulators, you can enjoy this. A lot of the coverage of these drafts and the mock draft formation will pull up the mock draft, and you guys go ahead and do it with them. I'm not doing that. I'm going through it myself and then posting the results. So I have an issue with this draft because we don't have enough picks. We've got 9 picks, but 7 of them are in the 5th round or 6th round or 7th round. So I've been doing these simulations for over a month now. And no matter how I slice it, if we stay where we're at and just pick where we're at, man, oh man, are we going to have one crappy draft. Now, that's just my opinion. You may find diamonds in the rough. I don't know if you're going to find 7 diamonds in the rough, but you can find diamonds in the rough. But I'm going to pull up the picks, and these are the picks we have to work with today. We're talking about pick 14 overall in the first round, pick 45 overall in the second round, and then we don't pick again until the 5th round. We have 4 5th-round picks, 2 6th-round picks, and a 7th-round pick. This is going to be done on the NFL Mock Draft Database. They are the site that has compensatory picks allocated. I think maybe PFF might too. I'm not subscribed to them. And so also when I do trades, I don't involve players. So we're going to look at what the Saints can do if we just stay put where we're at and grab whoever falls to us. Now, every board is different, and every draft scenario ends up changing. And a lot of times when I do these mocks, I'm kind of surprised at who's still on the board sometimes. I've done mocks where quarterback needy teams in the top 6 end up grabbing edge rushers instead. Just never know how the draft's going to fall. Well, here's how it fell for me, just picking straight up where we're at. So the draft starts. We're at pick 14. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the first player taken off the board by Chicago. And so I'm thinking, well, there might be a chance a quarterback falls to us, but no. The top 3 quarterbacks end up getting taken. There's even a bit of a run on edge rushers. Johnny Newton at defensive tackle gets taken. Nate Wiggins, cornerback, gets taken. A couple of good wide receivers. Before you know it, I'm looking at those offensive tackles. There's 3 teams picking before I pick. And Joe Alt and Alu Fashanu are still there. Well, somebody grabs Fashanu, but Joe Alt makes it all the way to pick 14. All right, well, usually I have a tough decision at 14. Usually the best 2 offensive tackles are off the board, and at that point, I'm focusing on either wide receiver or grabbing a right tackle. But with Joe Alt sitting there, there's no other choice to be made. With pick 14 in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. I've seen a lot of mocks where the 2 tackles get ignored, and once they fall out of the top 10, it's like a race to go and grab them. Usually neither one of them, if they can make it past the top 10, usually don't make it to us at 14. But when Joe Alt was still sitting there, there was no debating who else was on the board. I mean, I glanced, but I was running up with the card, right? So Joe Alt is our new tackle. Our next pick is pick 45 in round 2. That's the pick we get from Denver in the Sean Payton trade. And this is going to be our last pick till the 5th round. It's kind of hard to pick really good players when you only have 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. You almost want to just pick the best player available. I mean, in the draft, in a way, in the draft, you should. There's ways to fulfill your positional needs. You go to free agency, you grab some pieces here and there. But when you're in the draft, if you reach for a position of need, and you might pass on an all-pro, all-world, Hall of Fame potential type just to go and fill a need, it can be a detriment. At the end of the draft, you might have a bunch of really good players who need to find, you need to find a way to get them on the field. But hey, they're the best players available. Or you can just pick by need and then hope that the guy you picked is going to take Cameron Jordan's place or whatever. Those are the questions. So when pick 45 comes up in round 2, I'm shocked to see that the best safety on the board is still there. So with pick 45 in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select safety Cameron Kinchens out of Miami. We know Dennis Allen loves his secondary players. And, we've got a aging Tyrann Mathieu. We have a young stud in Jordan Howden. But I don't think the future is with Marcus May. And so this is an okay pick, too. The best thing about this pick is he's by far the best player on the board. Now, I could have gone wide receiver at this point. And, Des Walker out of North Carolina was still there. And he was the only one, and that would have been a reach in a way for a position of need. I mean, people seem to be happy with the Saints wide receiving core right now. I believe we do need a big body. I know we've got A.T. Perry. He's a 6th-round draft pick. He had almost half a season to play. He ends up with 12 catches. 4 of them were touchdowns. But, 12 catches when you're featured quite a bit in about 7-8 games, it doesn't scream the future to me. He screams potential, and he's very young. He may even be raw. And there's a chance A.T. Perry becomes our number 1 wide receiver, yes. But, man, I feel like we need another body just in case. I don't like the 3 wide receivers after Perry, Olave, and Rashid. So, But we go with Kinchens at pick 45. And then we have to wait. And sitting there on a mock draft database and simulator, and I'm sitting here watching all these picks go round after round after round, and I can't stand it. It makes me sick, actually, to do a draft with no trades. When we're in this situation, a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and then you don't pick again in the 5th round. And once you get to the 5th round, you might as well grab for need and position because there's not a lot of great talent left. Then again, you get to the bottom of the draft and you see somebody sitting there that you think's way better than the rest of them. You should go ahead and grab them. So, however you want to do it, I can't stand keeping these picks and picking where we're at. But the 5th round starts, and boy, we got 4 of them. So here we go. With pick 148 in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select offensive tackle Javon Foster out of Missouri. I would like to address guard at this point, but I think Foster's probably the best tackle left on the board that I'm even willing to pull the trigger on. Some people have Foster ranked as high as 3rd round, 4th round. A lot of these player pools are off right now. If somebody I think is great is still sitting there, I'll go ahead and grab them. And yeah, we have an offensive tackle and a safety, and now we have another offensive lineman in Javon Foster. Can he kick inside? I don't know. Maybe Alt plays left tackle and Javon Foster ends up being our right tackle. It's very possible. Ryan Ramczyk with his injury and all. All right, we wait a few more picks and we get a 2 in a row here in the 5th round. 167 and 168. So with pick 167 in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Zion Tupuola Fitau, the defensive end out of Washington. Not Trice, who's an edge rusher on one side. I'm assuming Zion is on the other side. Zion is built at 270 pounds, so he's big enough to definitely put on the defensive line. He's the type that the Saints like to draft. Dennis Allen may be wanting to go smaller on edge rusher. You know, now that Ryan Nielsen's not here anymore. It's a need. We need bodies on the defensive line. And we get Zion TF out of Washington, defensive end. And with the very next pick 168 in the 2024 NFL Draft, in the 5th round, the New Orleans Saints select running back Donovan Edwards out of Michigan. He's the backup runner at Michigan. Blake Corum is probably going to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Donovan Edwards shows a lot of ability, a solid running back. I think he can do everything in the running game that's asked of him. And we do need bodies in that running back room. I have a feeling Alvin Kamara's days are numbered. We'll probably keep him another year or two and then probably try to find a way to get rid of him. Edwards is no Kamara, but he's another body, and we get him at running back in the 5th round. And we have one more pick in the 5th round, pick 172. And with that pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select tight end Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State. He is a 5th round projection on this site. And I've seen Ben Sinnott, if that's how you pronounce his name, I've seen him taken as high as the 3rd, 4th round. So not sure where he's going to end up when the draft actually happens on these big boards, but he's here in the 5th round and we take him. I was flirting with grabbing a wide receiver at that point. Nia Smith from Texas A&M was still there. He's a smaller guy, and I feel like we already have a handful of small guys with Olave and Rashid. So I went ahead and got the big tight end instead. We could use a real tight end. We really could. All right, all we got left are 2 6th-round picks and a 7th round pick. And with the first 6th round pick 191 on our board, the Saints go ahead and draft Dwayne Carter, defensive tackle out of Duke. He always lasts to the late rounds in these mock drafts right now. I have a feeling by the time the draft starts, Carter's going to be more of a 4th round projection. He's here in the 6th round, and we get him. I like another body on the defensive line. He's an active guy. He might be able to bump out to end. And then in the 6th round with pick 203 in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Brandon Coleman, offensive guard, TCU. Brandon Coleman is one of those guys that's going to rise up the boards, and right now he's on some of these sites, he's a later round pick. I think when it's all said and done, he'll be a 4th round pick, maybe 3rd round pick. We do need offensive line help. We've already got 2 tackles, so we go ahead and grab the guard, Brandon Coleman. And with our final pick in the 7th round, pick 229, I finally pull the trigger on a wide receiver and go ahead and grab Tez Johnson, the wide receiver out of Oregon. So that is your mock draft for the Saints, 2024. We stay put where we're at and see how the board falls. Don't make any trades. Don't make any moves. And there's your list. I'd say with Joe Alt and Cameron Kitchens, we got a couple of really good potential pros. And then we got 7 players after that that are just, maybe, we'll see. Met some needs. We've got bodies. Hopefully this stuff works out. Edwards can probably make the field, especially if we cut loose Jamal Williams. Williams has 3 more years left on his contract, so we'll see about that. We got a defensive end who could possibly take Cameron Jordan's place eventually. We've got a real tight end. Jimmy Graham's gone. So, and we got us a defensive tackle. We've got us a wide receiver that might turn into something. A 6th-round pick last year turned into something. Maybe Tez Johnson can turn into something. But, of course, the meat of this draft are the offensive line picks. Joe Alt, Javon Foster at tackle, Brandon Coleman at guard. Let's see if Coleman can outperform James Hurst or Nick Saldiveri, or if we re-sign Max Garcia, or if we have to re-sign a guard at all. All right, there you go. I don't know, guys. It's 9 players. And, man, watching all those players go between our pick in round 2 and the pick in round 5 just breaks my heart. Especially when in the 2nd round, I'm grabbing a safety when I could like a safety, but I surely could have traded down a few spots in the 2nd round, picked up an extra maybe 4th, and still gotten a really good safety. I might have still got that wide receiver, and then I could have definitely got a safety with a 4th-round pick. There's a lot of good safeties in this draft. You just people aren't going to reach for them very high, and unless you're the Saints, I would have probably drafted somebody if we could pick up a 3rd or 4th-round pick. So that is your draft with no trades. Now, you guys might want to tune out because this one is with trades. And the NFL mock draft database is weird about trades. They usually allow a lot of stuff that I don't think would be allowed. So what I typically do is I pull out the draft pick value chart and I look at what is offered and I add it up, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. Now, sometimes these teams offer crazy stuff, and I have no say in the matter. They're wanting to give me a bunch of stuff, and it's up to me to take it. So what I decide to do for this mock draft with trades is I'm only going to initiate a trade to move up. I'm not going to initiate a trade to move back. If somebody offers me a chance that they want to move up and I can move back, I can either take it or I'll pick where we're at. Now, if somebody offers something, I'll do some negotiation. Like people like to offer future draft picks. And in reality, I would take future draft picks. That would be nice. But this franchise doesn't extend into next year's mock drafts. So having picks next year doesn't do me any good today. So if somebody offers a 1st-round pick next year and I decide to go ahead and take picks from them this year instead, I try to find something equal to what a 1st-round pick might be next year. So this happened in the draft. And yeah, I can really, really strip somebody if I try to be fair about it, right? So this is how I'm setting it up. I definitely don't want to pick 2 players and then not pick again to the 5th round. So I'm all for trading down. And this draft starts, we're picking at 14. When pick 14 comes up, there's one guy on the board that I'm really tempted to take because he's never there. And that player is quarterback Drake May. How he fell to pick 14, I have no idea. I'm watching all of these quarterback needy teams in the first 14 picks grabbing different positions. One of them grabbed an edge rusher. One of them grabbed an offensive lineman. One of them grabbed a cornerback. Nobody wanted to grab quarterback. And so Drake May falls to us at pick 14. But I don't take him. I don't take them because teams are wanting to move up and grab them. And the first player I get a phone call from, the first team I got a phone call from, Seattle. Uh, they pick at 16. I'm at 14. They want to move up 2 spots. And I have a feeling it's to grab Drake May. Seattle's not, the most needy, quarterback needy team. But what they're offering is insane. They're going to move up 2 spots from 16 to 14. And they're willing to give me their first round pick this year, so I get pick 16. They want to give me a first round pick next year. And they're throwing in a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick. Now, the reason why Seattle's doing this is because they don't have a 2nd round pick. And that first round pick next year is just too good for me to pass up. And if I was the Saints, I would definitely move down 2 spots in the first round and pick up an extra first round pick next year. Not to mention a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick this year. That's the way to go. However, I'm not the Saints, and I won't have the benefit of that extra first round pick next year because, all these mock drafts start anew every year. So I start looking at the value of a first round next year. I always project a first round pick next year as 1,000 points because that's pick 16 in the first round. That's right in the middle of the first round. I mean, you can be as high as 3,000 and be as low as a couple of hundred or whatever it is in the first round. I always say that if you trade me a first round pick next year, it's worth 1,000 points. Well, I'm not going to take 1,000 points worth of draft picks away from the Seattle Seahawks. They don't have a 2nd round pick. So what I decide to do is take both of their 3rds and a 4th. The point differential is a couple of hundred points. So, I could easily grab a 3rd round pick next year from them. So imagine we get that 3 3rd rounders and a 4th rounder just to move down 2 spots. Well, this is what's going to happen here. Seattle gets pick 14, and I get pick 16, pick 78 in the 3rd round, pick 81 in the 3rd round, and pick 118 in the 4th round. And if we had picks next year, I would probably have an extra 3rd for next year from Seattle. That's the move. We move down 2 spots. We let them get the quarterback that I don't want anyway. Now, some of you might have taken May and said, yay, let's go. Well, I didn't. And this is what the draft picks look like now. Pick 16, pick 45. Now we have 2 3rd round picks, a 4th round pick. And then we have, the garbage that we've been having. 4 5th rounders, 2 6th rounders, and a 7th rounder. I really like that. 2 3rd rounders and a 4th rounder right there. Instead of getting 2 players in the first 4 rounds, we're going to get 5. Bodies, right? Except bodies in higher rounds. It's going to mean a lot more. I don't get the quarterback of the future. And like I said, if this was reality, we'd have an extra first round pick next year. And we would have picked up a 3 and a 5. But instead, we get 2 3s and a 4. And this is where we're at. So pick 16 comes up. I get another phone call, a trade down from the San Francisco 49ers. They don't pick until pick 31. Now, I almost hang up the phone. There's no way I'm waiting for the rest of the first round before I get a pick again. But San Fran says, whoa, hold on. We know we're moving from 31 to 16. How about if we give you our 2nd round pick and 2 3rd round picks? Well, I look at the board and I realize that offensive tackle's the way I really want to go. And a lot of the tackles are still there. I even like a lot of the offensive tackles at the beginning of the 2nd round. Now, I'm not going to get the best player if I move from this spot. I'm not going to get the best overall player I can get. But you're telling me I can pick up another 2nd round pick and 2 3rd round picks? So, yeah, I'm interested. As a matter of fact, I throw in a 6th-round pick and a 7th-round pick to solidify the deal, to make that little blue light up and say, hey, they agree with the trade. Because at the time, they were offering me a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th. So I'm going to get the 31st overall pick. I'm going to get pick 63 in the 2nd round, pick 94 in the 3rd round, and pick 98 in the 3rd round. And because they wanted to give me a 4th instead of a 3rd, a 2nd, 3rd, I throw them a 6th-round pick 191, and a 7th round, my 7th-round pick 229. And this makes the deal go through. All right, so now Saints have gone through the entire 1st round without picking anybody. Oh my goodness, we're passing up all these great players, and we are. We're picking up the best of the best, the cream of the crop. But there's our draft picks. 2 2nd-rounders, 4 3rd-rounders, a 4th-rounder, 4 5th-rounders, and a 6th-rounder. At this point, I realize, excuse me, we've got a lot of draft picks. And I don't mind being all the way this low in the 1st round because with all of these extra picks, I can move around now. I can position myself to get better players in the 2nd round, the 3rd round, perhaps the 4th round. And so I've got a lot of picks to position with. I'm looking at the board. I'm at pick 31, and once again, I could take this guy or I could take the other guy. There's no one that I'm completely, utterly in love with. Don't tell me I'm trading out of the 1st round. Yes, I am. Because the Los Angeles Chargers call me. They've got pick 37 in the 2nd round. I could move down 6 spots from pick 31 in the 1st round to pick 37 in the 2nd round. And they're wanting to give me a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick to do it. Now, it's a pretty decent 4th round pick here. It would be the best 3rd round pick that I have if I go ahead and do this. And the best 4th round pick if I do this. I'm going to have to give them a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick to make the deal happen, because they offer these deals and then I try to negotiate it and make it work out. I believe the Chargers are offering me a lower 4th rounder or a 5th rounder, so I throw in a 5th rounder and a 6th rounder so I can get that pick 105 in the 4th round. And I go ahead and take the deal. Los Angeles Chargers are going to get a 1st round pick, the 2nd to last pick in the 1st round. And they're going to get my 5th round pick, 172, and my 6th round pick 203. And I'm going to get pick 37 in the 2nd round, pick 69 in the 3rd round, pick 105 in the 4th round. Now, this is it. I'm not trading down anymore, but I'm sorry. To pick up another 3rd round pick and a really good 4th round pick with all of these picks that I have and I know I can maneuver with, I go ahead, pull the trigger on this deal. Now, the Saints have traded down 3 times, and these are your draft picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 picks. I'm not going to pick 13 players, I don't think. But this is where we're at. 3 2nd-round picks, 4 3rd-round picks, 5 3rd-round picks, pardon me. 3 2nd-round picks, 5 3rd-round picks, 2 4th-round picks. So where we were at before was we had a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, and then we didn't pick again until the 5th round. Now we have 10 picks before the 5th round. We don't have a 1st. And that's where the gripe is coming. We don't have a 1st anymore. But we only had 1 2nd, and we didn't pick again to the 5th round. And now we've got 10 picks, including 3 2nd-rounders, all of them. Hold on. One of my cats is crying. Okay, I'm back. 3 2nd-round picks, 5 third-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks. You don't get a first-round pick, but you don't get 2 players before the 5th round. You get 8 extra players before the 5th round. You get 10 total players, and that's a full draft. And you're getting all of them in the 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. Yeah, I'd much rather have this collection of picks right here than what we started with. Sure, you miss out on pick 14 overall, and you had pick 45 in the 2nd round, and you didn't pick again until the 5th round. Well, now you can go and grab some players. I like it. And the Saints finally draft with pick 37 in the 2nd round of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Saints get things started with Kingsley Suamataia, offensive tackle out of BYU. He's a solid player. Don't know if he can play in the left side, right side. Don't know what we're going to do with him. But we do need an offensive tackle. He's a pretty good player, and got him as a top 2nd round projection. And there's still a couple of tackles there, but I go ahead and pull the trigger on this guy out of BYU. I'm pretty excited. He's one of the best players left on the board. So we're meeting a position of need, and we're also getting good value at the pick. Now we pick at 37, and I'm thinking, okay, we can wait again until 45, or I can jump right back up because I got the pieces to do it, and I do. So I'm not going to make a trade unless I'm able to move up, and I'm giving picks away. So I have a dealer, the Washington Commanders. The Tennessee Titans. I'm skipping trades. The Tennessee Titans. They are the ones with pick 38. Right after we picked at 37. So I called Tennessee and say, I want that pick because there was 2 guys there I really wanted. I only drafted one of them. What do I have to pay to get your pick at 38? I end up giving them pick 63 in the 2nd round, pick 81 in the 3rd round, pick 168 in the 5th round. So I'm basically moving up from the bottom of the 2nd round all the way to the top. And I give them one of my 5 third-round picks as compensation. And, one of my 3 fifth-round picks as compensation. And Tennessee likes the deal. I do too, because I have all these picks. I'm not going to use all of them. I just want to get the best players available. That's not in the 1st round because I've traded down out of the 1st round. But with pick 38, we're on the board again, right after picking Kingsley from BYU. The New Orleans Saints at pick 38 in the 2nd round of the 2024 NFL Draft select offensive guard Graham Barton out of Duke. Well, there you go. You got the BYU kid who might play right tackle, might play left tackle. Now you got Graham Barton, who's played left tackle for the last 3 years in college, but he projects to be an excellent guard. So we have options here now. We have Kingsley at tackle, and we have Barton, who maybe could play left tackle, certainly can play left guard. We have 2 offensive linemen, and I'm cool with that. Now, do I wait 7 more picks to pick at pick 45, or do I make another move? That's when I call Washington. They have pick 40. And I move up from pick 45 to pick 40. And I have to give them a 5th-round pick to do it. That's okay, because they're willing to give me a 6th-rounder and a 7th-rounder to make up for it. And, that's a move I'm willing to make. Because there's another player at 40 that I really want. Don't know if he'll be there at 45. Maybe. Is it worth a 5th-round pick to move up 5 spots? Well, I'm grabbing a 6th-round pick and 7th-round pick as compensation for that 5th-round pick, and so I'm happy. I go ahead and make this deal with Washington. They're willing to do it. And now I'm at pick 40 in the 2nd round, and with pick 40 in the 2nd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, The New Orleans Saints select wide receiver Xavier Legette out of South Carolina State. Oh. Now I'm pretty happy about this. Really happy about this because we've now addressed 3 of our biggest needs. When this draft started, we had 14th overall and then pick 45 in the second round. We don't have a first round pick anymore, but now we have 3 second round picks that are all ahead of that original second round pick that we had. So instead of getting pick 14 and pick 45, you get pick 37, 38, and 40. Yeah, is Sua Mataya going to turn out to be a great pro starting tackle? Yeah, we'll see. Graham Barton, supposed to be the best guard in the draft. And now we have Xavier Legette, who I'm very excited about because he has good speed, he has good size. We're not grabbing a big guy or a fast guy. We're grabbing a guy that's got a little bit of everything. I'm pretty happy. So happy, in fact, that I stay my ass still until pick 69 in the third round. And at this point, we still have 4 third rounders to go. 2 fourth rounders, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. So pick 69 comes around, and with pick 69 in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select defensive tackle McKinley Jackson. McKinley Jackson out of Texas A&M. I am stoked. This is one of my favorite players in the draft. Big body, 200, almost 240, 230, 240. Yeah, we're going to get this big guy to come in and put him in the middle of the defensive line. And we're going to see how good the rest of our defensive linemen are because they're all going to be freed up to do what they want to do. I love it. I love it. Jackson's projected to go somewhere in the third round, fourth round. He's the best nose tackle left on the board. He's one of the best on the board, period. I'm very happy to get him. Now, there's another player I really want on the defensive line, and I'm afraid he's going to be gone if I wait till 78. So I start calling teams as the draft is going, and I have a buyer. Detroit Lions have pick 73. My player is still there, so they give me 73 overall. I give them 78 overall. And, yeah, they're willing to move down 5 spots if we swap 7th round picks. I have 219. They have 245. So it's a massive difference, but it is the 7th round. I'm surprised Detroit's willing to do it, but they are. And I do it because this player I want, I don't want to lose. That trade is done, and with new pick 73 in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select defensive end Brandon Dorlus out of Oregon. 270, 75 pounds, a true defensive end, not one of your edge rushers, a true defensive end. Now we've addressed offensive line with 2 picks. We've addressed defensive line with 2 picks. We got us a wide receiver. Good move. I'm glad I had all these picks to give away because I've been able to maneuver, and right now it's looking great. Now, in reality, the Saints don't have a third rounder, fourth rounder, fifth round, we don't have a third rounder or a fourth rounder. And I think that the Carolina Panthers are interested in Kai Harley, our assistant general manager. And if he becomes general manager of the Panthers, we will get 2 third-round picks. And they'll probably be at the bottom of the third round. But if this move happens in reality, and we end up with 2 third-round picks to go along with our 14 overall and our 45 overall in the second round, and we end up getting those 2 third-rounders with that Kai Harley trade, then I'm not as interested in trading down anymore. I will pick at pick 14. I will pick at pick 45 if I have 2 late third rounders instead of having to wait all the way to the 5th round. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm assuming in reality, we're going to package a couple of those 5th rounders to move into the 4th round. because we just don't have enough meat on the bones of this draft. So anyway, what I'm saying is, if that actually happens and we get 2 third-round picks for Harley, then yeah, I won't be so quick to move down. But until that happens, I'll be doing these mock drafts, and I will be tempted to move down at some point or another. Maybe not this many times, but this is where we're at. So we finally get to those late third-round picks, pick 94, pick 98. And Baltimore calls me. They want pick 94, and they're at 95. So you just want to move up one spot? They really want to move up one spot because they're giving me a third-round pick next year and a fourth-round pick this year just to move up one spot. And I look at the board, and there's about 2-3 players there I can take, so I go ahead and make the deal. Baltimore gets my pick, and I get another fourth-round pick plus a third-round pick next year. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is happening. I wait my one little spot from 94 to 95. The players I like, Baltimore doesn't even take. They take the cornerback Holloman out of Wisconsin. And, yeah. With pick 95 in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Saints select wide receiver Johnny Wilson out of Florida State. Yeah, we already got a wide receiver in Xavier Legette, but I've got my eye at Johnny Wilson being the next Jimmy Graham. He's a wide receiver, but he's 6'7", 240 pounds. That is Jimmy Graham size. And I don't know. He might end up being a good run blocker as a tight end if I try to get him to play that position. He might end up no good at blocking, just like Jimmy Graham. But my goodness, if you could have another Jimmy Graham running around in the prime of his career, and that's what I see Johnny Wilson as. His hands aren't that reliable, but boy, we have a toy now at the end of the third round. I love it. Johnny Wilson, you're going to play tight end. We're going to line you up all over the field. You're going to be a size mismatch. They're going to be trying to put linebackers on you, safeties on you, and you're going to beat all of them. I love it. And 3 picks later, with pick 98 in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select offensive guard Cooper Bebe out of Kansas State. Well, we've already got offensive tackle. We've already got an offensive guard, and now we're grabbing another offensive guard. And quite honestly, Cooper Bebe may be the number 2 rated guard, true guard, after Graham Barton, who, like I said, played left tackle in the last 3 years of his college career. So this is a really good guard to grab in the third round. Is he gonna take Hurst's place? Is he gonna compete with Ruiz? I don't know, but boy, we need bodies, and now we do. So 3 offensive linemen. Do you have 2 tackles and a guard? Do you have a tackle and 2 guards? You've got some options. You've got some good pieces here. Very, very happy with this. I could take this draft right now with these 7 players and be happy. You can take the 9 original picks we had. I'll go home with these 7 and be completely happy. But hey, we still have 6 more picks to go. I think we have 7 more picks to go. Or 6. 5. We make another trade here in the end of the 4th round. Before we get to that, with pick 105 in the 4th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select linebacker Peyton Wilson out of North Carolina State. This is not going to happen in real life, I do not believe. Peyton Wilson had to leave his original college because he was not medically cleared to play. He ends up going to North Carolina State, where he is cleared to play, and he plays like a first-round projection. Because of the injury issue, no one wants to grab him in the first round. Nobody in this draft wanted to grab him in the 2nd or 3rd round either, but I'm grabbing him with pick 105. He could be the best linebacker on the board. He's going to be in the black and gold now, and if those injury concerns creep up, we'll have to wait and see. He's got 2 years under his belt at North Carolina State with no issues. So huge value here in the fourth round if it works out. But we have extra picks, right? So we can take chances like this. It's not like grabbing a small school defensive end that has no experience with 2 first-round draft picks. Got us a good linebacker here. And later on in the fourth round, with pick 118, I grabbed my favorite safety in the class. Pick 118, the Saints select Cole Bishop out of Utah. He's a really good player. I think he's versatile. I think he's going to be good. Grabbing him in the fourth round. Is he going to be a special teams ace? Is he going to be a nickelback, or is he going to be a safety that just plays deep or just plays by the line? I don't know. I think Cole Bishop has the ability to do it all, and we just drafted him in the fourth round. All right, now the next trade comes up because we are at pick 133 in the fourth round, but I'm able to make a trade with Green Bay. They have pick 120. That's where I'm moving up from 133 to 120. I give Green Bay my 6th-round pick 180 and my 7th-round pick 245, and they're willing to give me a 6th-round pick 197. So I move up in the fourth round. They get a higher. They get a 6th-round pick that's 17 picks higher than where they're at in the 6th round, and then they also get the extra 7th-round pick. This works out good for me because the pick I'm making at 120, I know he wasn't going to be there. At 133, he might have been, but I wanted him, and I wanted him more than any other running back that was left on the board. So with pick 120 in the fourth round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Audric Estime, running back out of Notre Dame. I really like this guy. He's an excellent pass blocker. And he can do it all. He can catch, he can run. He's got good size. I think he's going to fit this team beautifully, and I know he will. And what I really love about him compared to all of these late-round running backs is that he's already pro-ready when it comes to pass protection. The different aspects of the running game that you usually have to wait for a player to pick up. So like I say, if this guy comes in, much like Kendre Miller, because Kendre Miller he's shown to be a pretty good pass protector as a running back, much like Miller. And I love this pick. That's the guy that I wanted. You know, I'm not moving anymore for the rest of the draft. I've got everything in the world that I could ever want, right? Oh, so 5th round comes, and we're finally picking in the 5th round. Wow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 picks before that 5th round pick. But we're finally here at pick 148. This would have been your 3rd player taken had you not moved around. Instead, this will be your 11th player taken. With pick 148 in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Saints select offensive tackle Matt Goncalves out of Pitt. And he could go a lot higher than the 5th round. He is definitely one of the best players available. Oh boy, now you have 4 offensive linemen. I'm serious about fixing the trenches for this team. Like I said, I don't know if my 1st round pick is going to be a tackle, left tackle or right tackle. We might have to kick him in the guard. I don't know if my second pick, Graham Barton, is going to play left tackle or play guard. Cooper Bebe is going to play guard, and now we got a true tackle in Matt Goncalves. So the way I'm looking at this is 2 tackles, 2 guards. You've got pieces. Let's not ever struggle like we did at the beginning of this past year with offensive line ever again. All right. I have 1 pick left in the 6th round. And, the player pool for this site, the NFL Mock Draft Database, it's a little off because they have former LSU cornerback Dwight McGlothern current Arkansas cornerback Dwight McGlothern. They have McGlothern as a 6th-round projection. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. But on this site, he last still picked 197. And yeah, as long as I'm picking on this site, I'm probably going to pick Dwight McGlothern out of Arkansas, cornerback. And that's how the draft ends. Saints traded a total of 8 times. Yeah, we traded up 4 times, and we traded back 4 times. Every time I traded back, it was the other team's suggestion. And there you go. So what in a draft that was going to be a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and then you're not picking again until the 5th round, with a total of 9 players, you end up with 10 players before the 5th round. No 1st-round pick, but 3 seconds, 4 thirds, 3 fourths. And there's the haul. Sua Mataya, Graham Barton, Cooper Bebe, Matt Goncalves. That's your 4 offensive linemen. Defensive line, you've got McKinley Jackson and Brandon Dorlus. At wide receiver, you've got Xavier Legette. And you've also got Johnny Wilson, who could quite possibly end up being a tight end. You've also got a great linebacker if the health clears in Peyton Wilson. My favorite safety out of the bunch in Cole Bishop. One of my favorite running backs out of the bunch in Audric Estime. And then Dwight McGlothern, cornerback, 2 secondary players. So that's how the draft could look if trades were ridiculous in real life, as ridiculous as they are on this site. I don't know. Maybe they will be. This is how this draft ends up turning out. I'm going to do a few more mocks probably before the scouting combine. And like I say, if we get rid of Kai Hurley and pick up 2 3rd-round picks for this particular draft, then I'll be stoked and I won't be trading. I won't be so eager to trade down so much. But when somebody offers you that much, give you all these picks just to move up a couple of spots, hell yeah, I'll take it. Unless I'm completely in love with somebody. Of course, this is the Saints. Dennis Allen could be completely in love with somebody from the 5th round and take them in the 2nd round. I don't know. We'll see. These are fun. I like watching other people do them. I hope you enjoyed it if you're a Saints fan. And if you think it's ridiculous, don't worry about telling me in the comments because I know it's ridiculous. And this is all just having fun until the real thing happens. It's good to have these exercises. I like it. You stay where you're at. Go ahead and stay where you're at and don't trade. You would have got Joe Alt and Cameron Kitchens, and then after that, you would have got a bunch of 5th-round picks, and hopefully everything works out. Or you can do this crazy draft where you're trading around. You don't have a 1st-round pick, but you end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players, I've said before, and all 10 of these players are in the top 130, 120. 10 players in the top 120. Or you can get 2 players in the top 150. Yeah, I think I'd rather go with this one. All right, I'm Joe. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Rosenfeld 10. For more videos like this, I'm Joe, and I will talk to you later. Until then, who dat?